Welcome back in another episode of building an ERP application using C# and Angular. So in this video, we are going to talk about the accounting vouchers. So accounting voucher actually, it's a key and the essential and the start point of accounting in meaning. If we have an invoice or if we have any financial transaction the company is doing, even if it is a single line like paying from X to Y, then it's going to be booked in the accounting officially as double entry voucher. So that means once you post it to the accounting or once you create the accounting voucher related to any commercial transaction, it's going to be official. So let's see what's this one. So here we are explaining that the accounting voucher is a written document that serves as evidence. Now we will see why it is as evidence in the future for a financial transaction. So financial transaction could be invoice, could be payment, could be anything. Once it is recorded as accounting voucher, now it is an evidence that is done. Okay, and it's used to authorize and record transaction in the accounting books, which we just said that. So what's the benefits of the vouchers now? The importance of the voucher, number one, it's a proof that there was a financial transaction because that will reflect also on the financial statements. It's ensure the accuracy and authenticity of the document of the transaction, facilitate the audit and verification process, and we will see that later. So how many types of vouchers? All these types of voucher there is, but mainly they are all accounting vouchers. So there is like cash vouchers, like there is receipts, payments, bank vouchers, and so on, all these types. Now let's talk about the debt and credit. Before talking about the debt and credit, let's see how is the style of the voucher in general. The voucher generally, any basic voucher should have a date, should have type, should have some description, describe this voucher related to what? It can include some number of invoice, it can include description like this, and so on. And it has at least one debit line and one credit line. The debit line always in the left, and the credit line value will be on the right. So here we have the chart of accounts code as well, and we have the description and who prepared it and who approved it. So let's see that. So if we talk about the debt and credit, this voucher is saying receipt of £500 for services rendered. That means I received £500. So if we see here, the code is 1, which means assets, right? So when I debit the asset, I increase actually the amount. In the other side, I sold services and the code is 4, which means revenue. So when I credit the revenue account, I actually increase it as well. So the debit nature here, if you see, there is a statement, it's saying the debit an entry on the left side of accounts representing an increase of assets or expenses. So when I purchase expenses, again, if I put debiting the expense, that means I increase the amount of expenses. Please don't be confused with these things. In the future, we are going to learn it more and understanding more while we are developing the software. So, or if we put it for liabilities, equity, or revenue accounts, that means it is reducing, decreasing. So in this voucher, we are crediting the revenue, so we increase it. We are not debiting the revenue. If the amount of 500 was here for the revenue, that means I decrease the sales. Same thing for the credit. The credit on the right side of the voucher and of the account and represent an increase in liabilities, equity, and revenue. Look here, when we credited the revenue account, we increased it actually. But if I put it for a set account or expense account, that means I'm decreasing it. So why it is important? It is important because the entry point, it's the entry point that ensure that always we have balanced accounting. What does it mean balanced accounting? That means the assets are equal to liabilities and equity. And it gives us the accurate record of all transactions. So this is an example of transaction. It's a proof of financial transaction. How it is a proof of financial transactions? Because it shows all the amounts and so on, and it is prepared and approved. The other example is how it is showing the accuracy and so on. It's showing the accuracy because it's detailing the supplier name, and you see here, for example, it's showing who is our supplier. We purchased stuff of supplies from the supplier XYZ. And the last thing, it's showing the audit. It's facilitate the audit and verification. This is because every document we can see here, it should have some reference for specific transaction. This can be number of invoice number or reference of payment or anything. Here is the general reference of payment, and we can see who prepared it and who approved it. So when the auditors audit the accounts, they can drill down and drill up from the accounting voucher or the journal voucher to the original transaction of this financials. So trial balance sheet, we explained it actually in the essential reports. But here, let's see again, based on these three accounts, three vouchers. We have cash receipt, which worked on the cash and the sales. And we had another purchase for supplies, which are expenses and account payable. And we have another voucher about the short-term loans and the cash, which was repayment of loan. So we have 6 accounts worked. We can see that these 6 accounts worked are here, right? And we can see the codes came from the voucher and the debit balance and the credit balance, which means that if we record our transactions in vouchers, we can easily generate the trial balance. If we generate the trial balance, we can easily generate the other financial statements, which are balance sheet, income expense statement or income statement, and cash flow statement and the statement of change in equity. Thank you very much. Possibly the next video we are going to start working on this practically using a database and the queries, and then translate them to coding using C#, and we progress with that. Thank you very much, and see you in the next video. If you like this video and you would like to keep posted step by step on building our application together, please hit the button of subscribe and the bell of notification so you keep posted. Thank you very much, and see you in the next video.